And we're live, the SMT podcast, random Sunday edition. Last day of the month, I believe, January 31st, 2021. So when you wake up in the morning, unless, you're like international, right, and you're already February 1st, you'll wake up
Yeah.
in the morning. Some of you will be watching this replay. It'll be a different month. It'll be February. So, yeah, man. We did, um, we did some testing earlier today. And for the patrons out there, appreciate you guys supporting us there on that side, on the Patreon page. We tested some Verizon CBRS. We tested some small cells for Verizon. A big thing that we're going to see in 2021. We know for a fact that Verizon will be expanding on its micro cell, small cell build out, CBRS band 48. We'll expect to see those upgrades. We expect C-band to also get upgraded on those sites, but that won't be active until later in the year. Probably not really until next year. But there's a lot of stuff going on in wireless, and I've been testing this FirstNet line, courtesy of the big homie. So I kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit and then give my, thoughts and impressions on the service. And then also I want to talk a little bit about the HBO Max product and the AT&T product, the AT&T TV. I've been testing all these things, and I wanted to give you my insight. Carlos has used all of them. I still think, Carlos, you're using probably two of those at least, right? Long term.
Yeah.
You've got a FirstNet line. I think you're still using HBO Max, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you're still using the AT&T TV, but I know you have. So you can kind of give us
Uh,
some.
Not anymore, but yeah.
Yeah, so you've used it, I think, twice actually, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So yeah, we've all used it or are still using it. So we just want to give some insight on the product, the experience, the app, the performance, all those different things, mobile versus, set top and all that stuff. So big shout out to Ron. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for being here. Life is good, man. No complaints. Cheyenne, good to see you. Glad you could be here as well. And we're gonna add another guest to the stream. We got Zero. Cool. Appreciate you, man.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, just hanging out, bro. Doing the Sunday stream. Low key, just chill. Mike, good to see you. Glad we got you on the commentary now. Tito is here. We got Barry. Appreciate you guys also. Jarcone is here. David, hashtag Mod Squad. Yeah. And we got a super chat from Mark today, or super sticker. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate you. It doesn't show me what it is, but I'm guessing it's like a hippo with a fist bump or something. Anybody see that? What it is? Appreciate you, man. Thanks for that donation. It's like I said, the donations have been few and far in between lately, given the economic situation. So I'm definitely understanding of that. But when you guys do offer the donations, we thank you very much for it. Yep. So hey, Pete, good to see you, man. All right, so I want to talk a little bit about AT&T FirstNet, pros and cons. It's not perfect, not by a long shot. And then we'll do the AT&T TV a little bit and the HBO Max, and I've been pretty happy with those. So I want to just share my experiences, what it's like, and it's a pair of the thumbs up. Nice. Randy Savage is in the building. What's up, Sneed in the crew? Hey, Digital OP, man. Brandon, good to see you as well. Yeah, unfortunately on the mobile app, I can't see everything and all the features. A7, good to see you as well. But yeah, so anyways, uh anybody can chime in. I don't know, Zero Cool, if you've used the FirstNet service before. I know Carlos has. I've been using it for a couple weeks. So here's what I'm seeing, and here's how I'm kind of experiencing the network. It is by far the best capacity access you can get, right? The fact that whenever you're connected, on the FirstNet, you're never going to be deprioritized. You're never going to be actively throttled or managed on a tower site. I think in and of itself, that right there is reason enough to want one of those lines. If you qualify for a FirstNet line, you got to try it. I know they've got a couple of different plans, and you know, if you need hotspot or if you don't, that sort of thing is really up to your use. A lot of people don't really need hotspot. I would say probably more than half the people out here don't even use their hotspot allowance, 3 gigs, 10 gigs, 100, whatever. I do. I frequently do. I turn it on all the time. But if you don't need it, that's something you wouldn't have to pay for. So the plans, Los, what is there, like a $40 plan and a 45 or something? Is it 35 and 45?
It's 40 and 45. 40 without
40 and
hotspot, 45 with hotspot, and it's true unlimited hotspot.
right. It's the same, high speed hotspot you would be getting, if you were on like a set amount through AT&T, and then like after a certain amount you get slowed or whatever. But that's not the case with this FirstNet stuff. They're giving you full unfettered access on the AT&T network. Plus, you think about it, you're on a dedicated network core, right? So you're not treated the same way when it comes to the network traffic and your access. So it's like it's very unique in that way. There were times where I tested both the AT&T Business Elite and FirstNet, and the Business Elite was faster. I'd say it was like 50-50. There were times where the Business Elite was faster, but that's not the point. The point is that if Business Elite was getting managed because of a tower issue or, capacity is being, the network's getting stressed because of whatever's going on, if you're on FirstNet, it's not happening to you. So that's why I was saying to people, for the last couple of weeks, if you qualify for a FirstNet, you got to at least try it. Now, the thing I'll say is that it's not perfect. And the reason I say that is there are still some gaps in performance because of Band 14 still needing a little bit of fine tuning. And by that, what I mean is there are certain sites that I would consider to be edge sites in the CLE. When I was testing it, it was like instead of it switching to a tower that would have been closer and probably had better connectivity, it was keeping me locked to a Band 14 site from like 2 or 3 miles away. So what happens? Your signal is starting to degrade, right? So your performance starts to fade a little bit. So I was doing a live stream, and I did this like 2 or 3 times just to confirm it. I went back to the same spot, same glitch happened. The Periscope video started to buffer. And I know that for a fact that's only happening because of Band 14 being on an edge, because when I'm on my AT&T Business Elite, it doesn't do that. So I'm guessing that whatever site that my AT&T Business Elite is connecting to there, that site doesn't have Band 14. I think that's just basically what that confirms. And there was another spot, I want to say it was like probably within 2 miles of the freeway. Again, the Band 14 probably on edge, due to, whatever the case may be. But beyond the distance, there could be other factors too. But I just think, honestly, the Band 14 just needs a little bit more time. Whether it's like some additional sites need it or they have to figure out the power issue. I don't know what it is exactly, but I found at least 2, maybe 3 spots where the Band 14 just wasn't performing as good as the native AT&T. And of course, that network core wants to be on Band 14 as much as possible. Carlos, if you could kind of speak to your experience with FirstNet, is what you're seeing similar to mine, or is yours any different?
It's pretty much similar. But it's gotten better out here because they have been deploying a lot more Band 14. So I'm starting to experience less of that problem. But yeah, it's pretty much there. Now, when I went to LA, same thing. Phoenix has a lot more 14 than Vegas and LA at the time, so it wasn't bad over there. It's actually what you're supposed to experience with FirstNet.
I mean, we've got Zero Cool is a pretty amazing guy. Could you kind of speak to that issue that I was having with the streaming at that location? Because I'm not losing
Yeah.
connectivity, but like the performance was degrading enough where the audio held, but the video would buffer. So I'm guessing the throughput, due to the tower, like the signal strength, was dropping enough that it was affecting video quality.
Right. Yeah. Basically, it needs to be more optimized and maybe what we call a capacity site added next to those sites. For example, if you're at a band 14 edge site, you're going to need another capacity site with band 14 and maybe like a mid band to help with that video streaming, right? That's what's needed in more optimization. So a little bit of backfill with capacity sites with mid band, with band 14, and more optimization is what's needed. Those little pockets, like little areas that that's applications can be applied. It isn't needed everywhere, but in certain areas, and those areas are mostly to where edge cell sites are to we don't have another either like a mid band capacity site to hand off to, or another band 14 site to hand off to. So it's good to put both on there, so that's one, you get a reliable handoff, and two, your video will not buffer.
I was thinking that maybe it was just an additional site with band 14 a little bit closer to kind of plug that gap. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. That's fine with band 14, but the thing is that when you're dealing with high capacity, when you're dealing with video, right, you're going to need that mid band. Like video and mid band go hand in hand. You need something that's going to carry the weight of a video downstream connection. Band 14 is just not enough. You need something that has mid-band added onto it.
Noticed another issue. The uplink on AT&T Business Elite was also better. I'd say at least 80% of the time. And I know that has to do with the network core and what it's preferring to connect to in terms of the sites with, certain bands and things like
that. The increased uplink, I bet you, was probably near an area where there was a lot of AT&T sites with mid-band access on it, right? I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly my point. See, when you're doing handoffs, you have to have whatever you're using. If it's like a phone call, it's like a video chat or whatever, you have to have the adequate mid-band handoff frequency to pick up that connection. Right. For example, if you go from a mid band down to like a low band, it's going to have a little bit of lag, a little bit of trouble, especially on edge sites. Right. You need both the band 14 and a mid band carrier to near these edge sites for additional capacity to help when you're doing handoffs, and more optimization too. But that's pretty much it. So
the FirstNet band 14 does carrier aggregate just fine, but it's different, because it's on its own dedicated core doing its own thing. Because, like I tried to explain this to people when I first started using it, I could tell it was different. It is not the same experience as an AT&T Business Elite or Consumer or Prepaid or any of that. I could just tell, I could feel it, because I noticed the uplink differences. I noticed the latency differences. I caught a couple of those spots where AT&T didn't have those issues. So I knew it, I could sense it, I could feel it. And in terms of the carrier aggregation, absolutely. Where I may have had an extra mid-band carrier, I was getting band 14 instead. You get what I'm saying? So, and in that process, right, you might be going from a 20 megahertz mid-band channel to a 10 megahertz low-band channel, which makes a difference in throughput, although maybe not signal. You know what I'm saying? So it could just be, well, if AT&T Business Elite is giving me 9 megabits per second up, that's good for the stream. But if I'm on the band 14 network core, I might be getting 2 megabits per second, which would leave the stream unstable, right? So I think that's kind of the situation. And, when I look at what Zero Cool has to say on it, that's how you address that issue. It makes sense. Get an additional mid-band carrier. And if it's an RSRP problem, we're looking and the signal is degraded, maybe we do just need an additional site to have band 14, if it's close by or something like that. I initially thought that was the problem. Do we need that site that has all that mid-band that's killing it for AT&T Business? Maybe that one just, because, I don't know how they look at it. Do they look at it like, all right, we just need a band 14 site every 2 miles? It doesn't need to be on the site. I feel like it would make sense to just put on every site, since it's the first responder network. and you're trying to get signal inside of hospitals and basements and lower level, like all that matters.
Well, that's exactly it. So your band 14 is pretty much as this. It gets a signal, a good quality signal on 700 where no other signals will reach. Like that's the purpose of it. Like if you're in buildings, if you're in, down on the first level, think about where firefighters have to get into, right?
Mhm.
Okay, that's where that band 14 signal is supposed to reach, and it does. The problem being is that when you're dealing with a lot of traffic on that, when it gets overloaded, from the consumer side, there's other devices that are using, that frequency as on secondary, right? You're going to need that additional an awful capacity site with 700 and mid-band on it, to help with that congestion and help, along the way. So that's pretty. I mean, that's pretty much how it is. I mean, it's kind of like in reverse of like how how elite businesses work. You're going from, you're going from in business elite. You're going from like a mid band to like a low band usually, right? But on the FirstNet, you're going the opposite direction from low band to hopefully a high capacity. Right?
Yeah.
So that's pretty much how you have to look at it. So, the more awful capacity, the more awful capacity sites that mid-band can have as what we call neighbor sites, that just builds the neighbor list. When we're working with clusters, they have to have a neighbor list, a grouping of sites, right? And that's how that's pretty much how it works with your phone. Because if your phone has especially if you have, 2 or 3 mid-band sites connected to each other, it just makes it that much more seamless. It's a lot harder to go from like, let's say, low band to mid band, then back to low band versus like low band to then mid band to then mid band. Like, you know what I mean? So, yeah, they just need more mid band capacity sites to help with that traffic.
Troy, I'm not really sure about the video quality. We're not feeding video, so I'm not sure about how video quality could be bad on your end. We're only doing an audio only podcast tonight. So if the video's bad, I'm not sure how, because there's no video. Chime says AT&T upload has to do with the fiber backhaul. I see only good upload when the ping is really low. Yeah, I mean, yeah, because the signal quality really matters with uplink. Like I've been able to get, RSRP like 105 and still get 100 megabit down, but the uplink barely even usable at a meg. So I don't know if that's necessarily the backhaul, but definitely the RSRP and the signal strength matters. That's for sure. Yeah, that's true, Sebi. I've seen that play a part. Most definitely. Is Carlos here? Sounds like he's busy partying. Carlos a little busy. Chilling. Oh, is YouTube defaulting again? Yeah, Troy, go ahead and check in the upper right-hand corner. See if you can select a higher quality resolution. That'll also improve your audio too, so definitely give it a look. Okay, cool. So that's kind of been my experiences with the FirstNet situation. Generally, I've liked it. I mean, just the premise that you have this incredible access to these tower sites, on such a high priority. I mean, it's awesome. I really do hope that I can end up qualifying as an active shooter trained educator, because I would love to have one as a, I wouldn't call it a secondary line because it would be on my primary device, but I would run it along with my Verizon line. I think that's,
Yeah, it will be nice to do if just as a quick exercise, if you can take your AT&T FirstNet and once you're on a band site that has band 14, go ahead and look at your PCI and just plot your PCIs when you're going down the street or whatever, and then when the PCI changes, see if that site has mid-band or not, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of a good indication of how well that's going to do in the area.
Sure. It's been good. I've just had trouble in a couple of areas where the video quality degraded on the periscope. So in most cases, for most people, I don't think they're going to notice much of an issue. It's temporary, it's short. I think the one spot that's rough The video buffered for about a mile. You know, like it just wasn't very clear. The audio held, the call held, you know, but I just don't think the throughput's there on the uplink. So there's just that little bit, and then the other spot too, over by the freeway, a couple miles out. But yeah, I mean, they're easily fixed. But outside of that, I mean, when I was on the interstate, you remember when I did that test and I was driving through Medina, you know,
Yeah.
it was solid. It was very
That was
good.
good. It was very good.
Tested the speeds; they were tremendous. The uplink was great. You know, it was good. You know, and that's why, like I was saying, I will say that Verizon's uplink here is better. So I would still want a Verizon line for that reason, for my live streaming and stuff. But I think it just goes to show you there's no perfect network. Even one that's designed for EMS, police, and first responders and medics and, you know, fire departments and doctors and all that. There's no such thing. If you're looking for a perfect network, I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but maybe Russia, I don't know, maybe they got one, but they don't have one here. That's for sure. You know,
I don't
but it's
know. I
been.
mean, that's why eSIM everything. eSIM and dual SIM, you know.
I
It's
mean,
pretty
that's
good.
one thing that's got me kind of bugged out about the S21
Yeah,
is that
yeah.
not, you know, they've been talking this big game about dual SIM but they're just not doing it right. And even Apple's having trouble with the eSIM, and they're the only one we could actually say are kind of, sort of, somewhat doing it right. You know, we got the 5G issue with dual SIM. You know, we got that part is a problem, and then the profiles, and then the iMessage issues. We're nowhere near, you know, a solid eSIM solution. You know, let me clarify that right off the bat. But I'm hoping the next generation iPhone, along with Samsung getting its act together and maybe Google getting involved, to really get these profiles working right and, you know, more reliable connection between these SIMs.
The Pixel 6 will save the day, man. I got no trouble with RCS messaging on mine. I can do
Me
either
neither.
one.
Me neither.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, you know, but the iPhone is crucial to
I
really,
know.
you know, to get.
When you
We're gonna do dual SIMs, you know, dual SIM, dual standby, and we're gonna do the eSIM right. It
Yeah.
has to happen within the Apple ecosystem
Yeah, I
because of
agree.
market share, you know.
Yep. Oh yeah, I agree. It's a problem.
when you swap SIMs in between the galaxies, you do have RCS issues. Mine gets stuck. Same thing as the iMessage thing if you were to do it.
Oh, does it really? Oh, that
Yep,
sucks.
if you keep
That does
switching
suck.
SIMs, if you have like your main number, let's say you have it set up with RCS, and then you take that SIM out, put another SIM,
Right.
and then you try to set the RCS on that SIM, it'll stay stuck. It'll say can't connect or whatever.
I think the issue is when because what happens to happen is that your phone, when you have RCS enabled, has to register with their server, right? And so that includes your SIM and as well as your IMEI.
Right.
So if you're switching back and forth, that's why how it's getting confused, because it's like, oh, oh shit, I got Verizon with this IMEI on this S21, and now it's trying to do AT&T with that same IMEI, right? So it's kind of, that's what's making the server confused, and that's why I can't provision and that's why it gets stuck.
It's definitely not where it needs to be. Like the
Yeah.
eSIM, it has to be, number one, seamless upon sign up. So when we're talking about the whole, you know, Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T solutions that they have for actually creating an eSIM and then a profile and a number attached to it and all of that, that program has to become seamless, easily managed, and without problems. It's got to be, you know, like I'm saying, it's got to be consumer friendly to set it up and then effective on the carrier side. So we have problems there. You know, we saw problems, you know, with Carlos, I think, in the Verizon. You know, we've had troubles with AT&T in the past. I don't know who's doing. I mean, I've done an eSIM with T-Mobile, so that's been done. But like that part's got to get done right. The profile situation has to be done right. Dual SIM, dual standby, and how it functions when you have multiple SIMs that are on eSIM with multiple profiles and like 5G and stuff with the iPhone. Those things have to be ironed out. I mean, I would love to go completely eSIM, but my SIMs move between phones. And unless that process becomes flawless, I'm probably moving away from eSIMs very soon until that gets worked out, and I can say that this is a better option. I mean, I don't know if it's better to have an eSIM or a physical SIM. I don't know if that's going to affect my performance at all, but the ease of signing up, like, when we hear about AT&T saying we're going to start an eSIM app, well, that I like. So for somebody to actually go into a command center, an app or something to turn on and activate an eSIM, get yourself the QR code, put that into the device, match it with the IMEI and all of that. That is, I think, a winner. But it has to be, like I said, flawless, non-problematic, and easy. The process itself should never take more than 10 minutes. Because essentially what you do when you activate a SIM card at a store or over the phone is they put a SIM card number attached to the IMEI of a phone to provide network access, to give it a network. And that's the same thing that would have to happen on eSIM without trouble. Because like right now, honestly, the worst part about the iPhone is the fact that if I have a T-Mobile eSIM on a profile attached to a number, and then I have a Verizon eSIM on a profile attached to a number, I can't have 5G on either one of those lines as long as the other line is on. So that's a standby problem, right? Like they're supposed to be both running.
Right. Yeah. Eventually, it's going to be all eSIM. So basically, you're going to have phones in the near future that will just be two IMEI eSIMs, and they won't have the physical SIM in the phone anymore.
Shame, I don't know if I would ever be able to access Verizon first responder line. It's something I'll have to look into. I would love to test it and at least be able to compare the AT&T first responder FirstNet compared to the first responder Verizon. I'd like to see how that stacks up. I would think that based on my consumer access, the uplink is going to be much better for me on Verizon. I mean, I like my consumer line. Therefore, I think the first responder line would likely be even better. But I don't know. I think when you're talking FirstNet, first responder access on carriers, the last thing you're thinking about is having uplink issues. You're just not. It's not on your radar. Kind of a me situation. Because of my live streaming. I mean, heck, the only real problem I have, if I have to pick apart T-Mobile, the only issue I really have in the CLE is the uplink. I don't know what goes on, but I can't live stream. So I'll speed test it and it shows it's 50 megs, but it won't hold the stream. So something's happening on the priority access. And when I do the Magenta business, I have real trouble live streaming. I mean, I can't last a mile. As soon as it switches and hands off to another tower, it's done. At least with the T-Mobile One, it'll hang on. It might blur out a few times or whatever glitch, but it still hangs. So, I mean, maybe it's just a me thing. Not everybody live streams. Not everybody does that. But, I mean, I'm on video calls all the time. I take Zoom meetings while I'm on the road. You need a couple of it. Zero Cool, what is the typical requirement for a Zoom on mobile? What type of uplink?
It's 12 to 15 megabytes.
For a Zoom meeting?
Yeah, any video streaming is a minimum of 12 megabytes.
For uplink?
Yeah.
Wow. They're not even close. They're not giving me that.
Then why are they recommending 25 by 3?
That depends on the resolution.
I mean, I just want it to stay connected. I mean, the resolution could be meager. I don't need it to.
Yeah. 12 is like the very, very minimum. The 25 is the recommended.
There's no carrier doing 25 megabits on average in the CLE.
No, I know.
Yeah. So you can see how it's problematic. I mean, we've come a long way. I don't want to sit there and say the carriers have done nothing in uplink, but I mean, we're still at the bottom of the barrel. I mean, I can count in the last month of testing. I can count on one hand how many times AT&T got more than 10 megs uplink. So I don't know. Verizon does it more frequently, and I think it has to do with the tower density. You know, the fact that you've got more tower sites, the signal strength is always higher and stuff like that. So I don't know. We'll see if it improves. I know standalone service is going to change a lot of that. Getting additional bandwidth is going to change a lot of that. You know, more spectrum to market and things like that.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Once standalone has become, national on all three carriers, and we're not going to have to really worry about uplink anymore.
Thank goodness.
It solves that issue for using, because what standalone pretty much is they're using a standalone FDD frequency for downlink that's not shared. Okay. When I mean shared is meaning, just shared with the frequencies, right? And then the uplink using the standalone as well. So it's like its own standalone. Each frequency is its own standalone, right? So basically, that's why you're going to have the symmetrical downlink and uplink.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see the evolution of the tech, man. I just need more. You know, I know in my situation, I'm willing to pay for more myself. I know a lot of people aren't. And like people have more meager needs, more humble needs, but and maybe what I need is a little bit more demanding, but I wouldn't mind paying for more if I'm getting more, honestly. I would not mind. I wouldn't mind. And I think with network slicing that becomes a more viable option too, you know. Nicholas, thanks for the super chat, super sticker. What do we got? Some kind of dancing pair or something? No. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it very much. You guys are really generous, man. Thanks for the donations tonight. When is 5G coming to eSIM, Dan? I don't know. They're saying that it would have come with the most recent update with 14.4. We didn't see it with the iPhone. I don't know about the Android side. I don't know what that situation is because, I mean, me and Zero Cool have huge excitement for the new Pixel devices. A Pixel 6 flagship that could potentially solve RF concerns, RF issues, bandwidth potential, a better chipset, modems, and then, something like eSIM to be perfected on the Android side would be nice too.
The more reading that I'm doing on this is they actually opted out of the Snapdragon 888. There's like a listing of it, or some guy like posted something on YouTube, which means that they're going to use their, as far as I know, I mean, it's not, nothing's confirmed, but as far as I know, they're going to use their new Whitechapel chipset, which is supposed to outperform the 888, but they're going to slap in an X60 modem, kind of like what Apple does. Their goal is to actually solve the reliance on relying on at least for the CPU and GPU Qualcomm. The goal is to make it seamless because their applications, like how Apple does it, works with their A14 or whatever. Google's trying to do the same thing. They're trying to make it all one ecosystem to work with their new Whitechapel silicon chip that they can use AI, machine learning, stuff like that built in.
So you think them deviating away from Qualcomm is strategic to do something better? Or to
yes, absolutely. Yeah, yes, absolutely. Because
it's not really about cost; it's more about performance.
Not just that, but innovation. Google wants to do something that along the likes of what Apple's trying to do, which they can do. It's just that the Qualcomm, right? Is you're not seeing. You're not seeing all the advanced stuff, for example, of what the, especially on the AI front, of what the A14 can do. I mean, look at as far as like what Apple was doing with all the what the hell unlocking of the cars, the whole AI stuff with their lidar sensors, it's gonna be more like that, right? So that's what Google wants to do, and with the Qualcomm chipset, they're not able to do that.
Jared, I would ask you, I mean, have you upgraded your phone since 2016? I don't know about your SIM card. And the other thing I would ask you is if you're a former Sprint customer, what type of access you're getting. So I think there's a couple things I would need to know before, just getting a new SIM just because. Because I don't think T-Mobile does like a 5G SIM card. They don't do that. But the access might be different if you're a former Sprint customer, switch to TNX or whatever else.
Their TNX is their 5G SIM card.
Okay, so that's what I'm kind of saying is if that's kind of your situation. T-Mobile taking over here in West Virginia. Currently, Verizon is the worst. AT&T has the best speeds. Sprint has the best coverage because of Chantel. Makes sense. I didn't know Verizon was bad in West Virginia. I've driven through West Virginia, and honestly, out of everybody in the car when we were driving through the interstate, I was the only person with a steady signal. So the Pandora, the maps, Verizon was the only one holding up for us. So I don't know about, your location or whatever, and I can only speak to driving through West Virginia. I went through, like Charleston and whatever else. I mean, we were on our way to the Carolinas. So I don't know. You would know better. Obviously, you live there. So Jared, I'm not former Sprint, always on T-Mobile, and yeah, I have a new iPhone. I mean, I don't think that's gonna do anything for you. I guess that SIM card should be fine. I don't know.
No, you want to change the SIM card.
How's Verizon crap in West? Like, not fast? Is it slow? I don't. What do you mean by crap? Is it a coverage issue? I've driven through West Virginia. I had signal everywhere. So it wasn't maybe slow. I don't know. Maybe there's too many people on the network. That's very possible. What's up, Adam? How you doing, brother?
What up, Adam?
Really bad, like Elkins when your still has roaming. It's like 70 miles with 1X. Oh no.
Oh no.
No. That's a no-go, dog. I would not have any carrier 70 miles of 1X. Is that really possible? Verizon covers the one side of West Virginia. Okay, maybe I was on that one side. Dang. Dang, that's terrible. I mean, it makes sense to have a regional carrier in a place like West Virginia, where the network operators that are the national providers likely aren't looking to cover it very much because the payout isn't there. Population 300, towns like that, they're not going to put a tower site there. Population 1,000, they're not going to do more than one tower site. They're not motivated to do so. You're going to sit there and spend $1 million to build a macro site. Even if they are willing to build a monopole and put their site up there, they might not come back for 8 years. I would bet that there are some Verizon sites in West Virginia that are still band 13 only. And there might be some 3G only sites. I don't know. I mean, I was, hearing about the 3G shutdown, you'd assume that they addressed all that issue. So at least they got LTE on all those sites, most likely. I mean, I haven't seen a 1X on any of my Verizon phones in years. I think the last time I saw 3G in the Ohio area was maybe 2014. Maybe. And it was a coverage issue. Nebraska's like that. Signal only really near Lincoln and Omaha. Yeah. Band 13 only sites suck. Let me tell you, no bandwidth, dude. All right. Good stuff. We covered that pretty well, the whole FirstNet situation. I want to talk a little bit about some other services that AT&T is offering these days. The next one is the AT&T TV. And this one I won't spend too much time on, only because I've only spent a few sessions on the service, like actually utilizing it. So I don't watch a lot of TV. Sometimes I go days without watching TV. So I'm really not the right person to ask about TV services and how they compare. but for the few sessions I've had with AT&T TV, it has been good. I have used the app on mobile, so the Google Pixel 5. I use it on my Moto Edge Plus. I use it on my iPhone 12 Pro. I also used it on my 65-inch 4K down here in the lab, and I also used it upstairs on the 75-inch that's upstairs on the main level. So it's been really good. The content that's on AT&T TV is really good. The quality of playback is good. As long as you have a steady connection, let it ride. It doesn't matter if it's cellular, Wi-Fi, seems to be holding up just fine. The one thing I'll tell you, though, is that with the Android app, I didn't like it as much as with iOS. And I also think that the iOS app is much more effectively optimized for viewing it on the iPhone than what Android is doing for their devices. So when I was using, like, say, for example, the Moto Edge, I didn't like the imperfection on certain parts of the app, and it was a little clunky, and you don't like that sort of thing. It was much smoother and reliable and dependable as a functional app on iOS. That's really an iOS and Android thing, though. So that's not new, and that's not specific to the AT&T TV app. On the LG, on the TVs, it was excellent. It was great. LG's interface is actually really good. I like the UI and stuff like that. So I was pleased with the performance, and the content has been excellent. Seriously, AT&T TV is good stuff. Carlos, you've used. Could you offer your commentary?
I mean, the AT&T TV was good. The first time it had issues, but the second time it's been really good. I haven't had no issues at all. It actually responds good. The compression on the video is not so compressed, so it works really well. You know, quality of picture is there. It's not like other streaming services where they compress the quality of the picture and you start to notice it when you go 55-inch or bigger aspect TV ratios. So, but you gotta have a good data connection. That's the only thing about it.
Yeah, I agree. I have used the AT&T TV on my Sony TV here. They have gotten a lot. I mean, the picture quality is really good. They've gotten a lot better as in years past. But yes, you do have to have a good broadband connection for it. The only thing I don't like about it is the price. That's my only gripe with that service. That they don't offer 4K content, but the price is the main thing. I think it's
at like $80 right now or something.
It used to be when it first launched, it was like $35, and then it went to $45, wow. Right? And then to $45, and now it's whatever, $89, whatever it is, $80, $90. I think it's too pricey, to be honest.
Yeah.
What up, Latrell?
What's up, man?
Welcome to the show, man. You want to chime in? I don't know if you use AT&T TV services or any of that.
I mean, I watch a decent amount of cable. I have DirecTV right now, which AT&T owns, but they're selling the company to somebody else. Before that, I had AT&T Uverse, so that's all I can really speak on. I tried a little Sling TV and all that stuff, but that's the only AT&T services I tried. At least for AT&T Uverse, I mean, I do say, like, it does have a. This is different, but it does have I did notice it has a slight advantage over DirecTV. That's back when I had it maybe 3 years ago or so, 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, they don't even sell the service. You can't even be a new customer, Latrell.
No, you can't. That's the same thing with their internet.
Right.
But yeah. I wouldn't know about AT&T TV, but I know somebody that has AT&T TV, and they like it. But with how things work over here, I don't know if I can really rely on my internet that much to provide me, consistent TV. That's why I gotta pretty much stick with what I have now with coax.
How's it performing?
DirecTV or
The coax?
oh I never had an issue. So
Oh, okay. See, I'm
like
really
it's like
forward to.
the cable internet, like it's just like it's Spectrum. So
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to a fiber upgrade of some sort.
bro, man, I can't wait till we get fiber over here.
'Cause
But
my
I honestly,
fiber
once we get fiber, I'm kind of tempted to try out AT&T. But again, I just don't know. Like, if the internet goes down, the cable still works. So that's one thing I like about, DirecTV and these other services. But I don't know how often the internet goes down with fiber. So
the one service that I've really enjoyed. I don't know if it's just because of the content, maybe it's the app layout. I don't know. I'll kind of like work through the discussion side why I like it. But HBO Max has to be like it's the app that I'm most excited about moving forward in streaming. I'll tell you why. The content that's on HBO Max is awesome. It doesn't have like the most new content, but it does have a lot of the throwbacks and the stuff that I used to watch as a kid when I used to watch more TV. So like I'm watching Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and I'm watching these older shows, right? But it also does have new content. Of course, it's hitting movies. The Warner Media Studio, all the, the DC, they got Wonder Woman 1984 is out. Then they're going to drop 16, 17 more titles. Great HBO. So
yeah.
I'm going to be watching an entire year of movies that I'm telling you, Latrell, I would not have watched in theaters with or without a pandemic. I would have gone to maybe one or two of those movies. Now I'm going to be watching them on HBO Max, most definitely.
When I signed up, it was when, the Fresh Prince reunion dropped. Actually,
recently, right?
Yeah. So it's funny too. Like when in the middle of you talking, as I complain about Spectrum a little bit, the whole connection drops, and I probably missed about half of what you said. Oh God. This is why I can't wait till we get fiber. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, bro. I'm excited about the HBO Max platform. If I'm an investor, if I'm invested into AT&T, I'm excited about it because it has already 40 plus million subscribers. So its growth is excellent.
Yeah,
it hasn't even gone international yet.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I think it was Unbox Therapy's. He was talking about Apple TV primarily and how they like pretty much have no market share. But I know the first was Netflix, obviously. The second was what was it? It's Netflix. Oh, damn, I don't remember. But I think the third was HBO now. It could have been Hulu as a second. I don't remember. I could look right now though. Top streaming services market share.
Man, I'm telling you, HBO Max is awesome. The movies on there are great, and movie theater deals is even better. I'm a huge fan of Apple TV Plus. You can get any movie on there. You get Dolby Audio, Dolby Video, DTS, everything, and they provide the best and the most 4K content as well.
Oh, I forgot. The second is Amazon Prime Video. But I know that I tried Apple TV, man. I just can't get into it. Like I think it's pretty much like Lou from Unbox Therapy said. I think that they just need that one breakout show to finally, push Apple TV Plus, because if you look at Apple TV Plus right now, I think the Good Morning Show with Jennifer Aniston and all them, I feel like they thought that was gonna be their breakout show. But I mean, I watched a little bit of it. I ain't really care for it. You know, that's just me. I think that goes for everybody else too. But I just think for a while, honestly, I don't know about Netflix future, but Prime Video's doing pretty well. Like I said, number 3, HBO Now. I think after that's Hulu, and then Disney Plus, and you know all those other services. But I honestly, like, even HBO Now, you know, I still would much rather watch something like Hulu over HBO Now. But HBO Now is pretty new, ain't they?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, hold on.
that's the crazy part, to see their growth already. You know, they just pretty much started and they're already like number 3. That's a hard market. So,
Whoa, what's going on here?
oh
You
yeah,
guys hear me?
yeah. And I was gonna
Yeah.
say, Apple TV is free, and they still ain't getting no market share. Like, it's basically free. Like, I haven't paid for it yet. I don't know about y'all, but
I've been using the Apple TV just for the movies, though, not necessarily the shows that they have on there. I'm just talking about the regular movies. The same ones that you can get on Apple, like Amazon Prime, are better displayed and better supported with 4K and Dolby Audio on Apple TV Plus than they are with Amazon Prime.
It's just
like
kind of,
if you like look at the differences between movies, like pull up a movie on Apple TV Plus and look at, like, down at the bottom, it will say like 4K, Dolby Audio, Dolby Video, right? Versus a video that you'll find on Amazon Prime, it's not going to have all those features.
yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know what Apple needs to do, but I mean, I've only watched one full movie on there. It's not even really a movie. It was something, I think somebody was over and they wanted to see the Medea live performance or something like that, and we could pretty much only find it on Apple TV for some reason through like a subscription. It wasn't through Apple TV directly, but it was, you know, it was some other service. But that's pretty much it. Like I said, it's free, and I still don't really use it much because it's not all that interesting to me. And they don't even have an Android app. You know, they have it on all these other platforms, Samsung TVs, which was pretty much one of the first platforms besides Apple products, obviously. Fire Sticks. What else? Roku's, maybe. LG TVs. They gotta get that Android app out.
The one thing I don't like about the HBO Max has been the trouble with the app on Android. It's bad.
Honestly,
It is,
like,
it is bad, bro. I'm telling you,
use
that
on the
bar
phone,
on
right?
the left, if you're holding it landscape, you know, sideways, the way you should be holding it,
Yeah.
the left-hand side is like a 1/2-inch bezel. The one on the right is like a 1/4-inch bezel. It's asymmetrical in terms of the width of the bar. It's uneven. It doesn't even make sense why it's like that. I really don't understand that optimization. I don't get it.
Yeah, I can't speak on that because I use it. The only time I use the HBO Now app on Android is on my Galaxy tab, which on there looks pretty good. So I don't got no issues there. I never tried it on my phone. On my Fold, I should try it. But I never tried the iPhone app either, so yeah. But what's your favorite streaming platform right now? Oh wow.
Well, what was that?
Yeah, that's weird. What about you, Carlos? What do you watch most? Besides YouTube, obviously, maybe.
Mainly that, bro.
But I mean, like, with Netflix, HBO, Prime Video, which one do you think you watch most? If any.
Honestly, I've been watching Discovery Plus a lot.
Discovery Plus.
Yeah, I've actually been watching it because a lot of the shows that are on the regular Discovery Channel have been moving over to Discovery Plus.
Oh my god. The comment. The latest one.
But
Yeah,
if I had to choose one of the services, I would say HBO Max, bro.
Yeah. I signed up
HBO
for,
Max is really good.
that Disney Plus bundle with
They got a
ESPN,
lot of throwbacks.
ESPN Plus,
The
and
throwbacks are awesome.
Oh, that one's
Yeah.
solid, bro. I like that one.
yeah,
I
ESPN
use
and Hulu.
ESPN Plus occasionally. You
Yeah,
use the ESPN Plus? Okay, so I
Uh,
like ESPN Plus a little bit, but because I watch the UFC,
yeah,
right? So that's kind of nice getting that extra content. But the real value is my wife loves Hulu, and Yasmin loves Disney Plus. So it's a slam dunk, bro.
it's a no-brainer.
You know,
Yeah,
like those are that bundle, right? That bundle, and like Verizon will give it to you. You know what I'm saying? If you have their premium plans, like anything above the starter, you know what
yeah,
I'm saying? Like you can't lose. And that's
yeah. Honestly,
even if you
man.
wanted to just pay for it, it's $13. You know?
Yeah, it really ain't nothing. Like I don't use, well, for ESPN. I gotta say real quick, they do got like one of the best apps. Like, for Android at least, with my Galaxy tab, it's amazing. I love the app on there. But I mean, it can be a little confusing, but it's still really good. But I know my brother, so I pay for the YouTube Premium for me, my brother, and some other people. He pays for the Spotify family plan, but he also pays for a Hulu plan without ads. So I don't even use the Hulu part of my account of my Disney Plus. Pretty much just goes unused. But yeah, I mean, besides that, with the ESPN Plus, I mean, that's pretty nice.
Do you guys think that? Do you think that HBO Max is better than Netflix?
Ooh.
Yes.
See, I think it is. See, we
with
have
the
Netflix.
content they got, I don't know.
But okay, so like, I don't like Netflix content. There's a couple of shows. Like I used to love Mr. Robot, right? And like there were a couple other shows I liked, and my wife likes a couple. But I don't know if it's just the times, like productions and studios or whatever. But it isn't doing much for me, bro. Hulu's got some to offer to our family. So does Disney Plus.
Yeah.
So, but I feel like Netflix is a lot different than Disney Plus, so I don't compare those two. But I look at HBO Max as the new kid on the block, and what they got to offer is better than Netflix. I think as a bundle, I feel like the Disney bundle with Hulu, I feel that's better than Netflix too. The Disney Plus with the Hulu together is better than Netflix. Throw in the ESPN Plus, that's a cherry on top because I watch the UFC.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I know my brother, his main platform is Hulu, because my brother Kenny, he actually watched a show named Letter Kenny, and it's a Hulu original. But I think how it works is like Netflix pretty much just rides off of their Netflix originals. I mean, that's pretty obvious.
I mean, I used to watch Narcos hardcore, bro. Couldn't miss an episode. You know what I mean?
I know somebody that's still like that. Like definitely. And Hulu, I know for me at least, I like Hulu because a lot of the shows on there, like you would see on TV, like Drake and Josh, for example, you're not gonna find really on Netflix or anything. Hulu, not Hulu, but HBO now, I'm still trying to kind of figure that out, because really the only thing that really attracted me to HBO now so far is that Fresh Prince reunion. That was, man.
Yeah, it was good. Was that interesting?
I couldn't like move I was getting texts on my phone and things like that. I wasn't even paying attention to it, bro. I'd never been that immersed into something in a while. Like that was stuck in that screen. Right here in the same screen, my monitor that I'm live streaming with now. But man, I was
what's
like,
it called?
that's amazing.
I think some of these comments in here are pretty good. You know, Sofac brings up the point HBO Max is free with unlimited elite. That's one heck of a perk. You know what I mean?
And also, you just get a discount. Well, actually, no, it's not a discount. It's a free trial through AT&T. If you go to your dashboard, if you don't got elite, you got like a 1 month free trial. Because if you just go through HBO Max or Now or whatever, I think it's Max. You don't get a 1 month free trial. I think it's like way shorter than that.
I want to take a look at some of the pricing. All right, so look, if I go to Netflix,
which the prices went up ridiculously.
Okay, so they got a $8.99 basic plan, 480p video resolution. Personally, that's a no-go.
Yeah, you can't.
I'm not in the business of getting 480p on my phone, let alone on a large screen TV. So that's a no-go. That's not even on my. That's not even an option. So
for me, that's unwatchable.
Right. So standards kind of like the entry level point for me. That one is $13.99 because that'll get you 1080p plus 2 screens. Right. So that means you're logged in on your TV and then you're logged in on your handheld. Right. Or if you got 2 people in your family. Right. But then the real value, like if you're really going to do Netflix right, you really want to get the premium because it gives you the highest resolution video playback. That includes 4K and HDR if the content has it, right? It's going to give you not just the best resolution, but also 4 screens, right? So that means multiple mobile devices, multiple screens in the house, right? And most people are going to do the 4 screens that are going to be sharing it with people anyways.
Yeah.
Right. So it's Latrell and his cousin or his brother or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, most people are going $18.
Yeah, but that's a lot.
I understand it's a lot, but I'm just looking at the options, right? So let's go to another option. Let's go to HBO Max.
It used to just
so what are you doing with HBO Max? You look at the pricing, okay? All right. I'm just going to go to the website and look at how they advertise it and the costs. Okay, they're advertising it $14.99 per month. All right, so what exactly are you getting with that? Okay? If I go to sign up now, $14.99 per month. I think there's taxes on it. Probably takes it up to what, like 15.80 or something. I don't know, whatever it is, right? You're gonna get I don't know. It's not telling me the number of logins or screens or whatever. I don't know. Does anybody know? I'm not sure exactly, but
no, I never had that issue though. Like with having too many screens going on my HBO.
Okay, see, because I've got it logged into like 3 devices, and I never got any type of notification on it either. Like I have with Hulu.
Yeah,
you know, like that's happened to me with Hulu, so I can confirm that. Yeah. So honestly, I feel like the HBO Max being a few dollars cheaper, more of the content I grew up on that I enjoy. I feel like Netflix with the price bumps also hurt them. Like now people are reconsidering. They're like, wait a minute. I used to pay $11.99 for
I could say $10.
Yeah.
Not even that long ago.
If you would have came on 2 years ago, it was $11.99, right? For the premium.
Yeah, I was just that's what I was just saying. Not even that long ago. And all of a sudden it jacked up $1 billion more for the same thing that you've been getting pretty much. Like,
so are we gonna put Hulu on the same pedestal then? Like as an option? Because Hulu, the thing about Hulu is like the pricing is better.
Oh yeah, it's way better.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not even talking the bundle right now. We're just talking Hulu as a standalone service, right? For watching content and TV and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was just gonna say they got the TV service.
Okay, so as of right now, I'm looking at the Hulu Help Center for pricing. So I just want to go straight to the source.
I think overall Hulu is just a better platform than Netflix. Way better.
All right. So they're at $5.99 a month for regular Hulu. All right. If you wanted to pay for it for a year, they'll give you 2 free months on a bundle discount.
What's the
you would pay,
quality?
so you would pay $59.99 for a year, right? Or you could just do $5.99 a month. So you basically get 2 free months. The Hulu with no ads is $11.99. Hulu Live is $64.99.
Yeah.
Right? And here's the most messed up part, right? I was paying for the Hulu no ads plus live TV, and I was still getting ads.
Really?
Yes. So
Wow.
that's why I left Hulu and went to YouTube TV, because YouTube TV has more content.
Yeah,
They've got more channels in there, you know.
And ain't they around the same price? YouTube TV.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was like, what's the point? I'm not getting ad free. I'm paying for it. Like, it's an additional like $6.
Yeah, the
So I
only
was like,
advantage
screw this.
The only advantage you're really getting is just using it in the same app. Hulu
I mean,
content.
no, YouTube TV is its own app.
No, I'm saying for Hulu and Hulu Live TV, the only advantage you get is the same app.
Yeah, it is
watch
the same
everything.
app. That's true. But that's not even really an advantage, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean
just
it's not going to be the reason you go to them, right?
Yeah.
And plus with YouTube TV, you can share it with like up to 6 family members.
Yeah,
Really?
bro. And there's no what's it called?
Yeah.
You could do it on mobile networking for your home. Like, it's not, you don't have to be on a home ISP to have the service. So like, I know that like we like to use the term geo-locked, but that's not really accurate. Geo-locked really is for like countries and stuff like that. But you get what I'm saying? Like, you could be on a fixed wireless connection like T-Mobile home internet. Hulu Live wasn't working, bro. I had to bypass it with Chromecast and screen mirroring and shit like that. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing.
I got a quick question for Latrell or Steen or Carlos or anybody. Can you guys use your HBO Max on Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
I
mean, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to.
Really?
Yeah. What's going on?
Mine doesn't work. It says like it's like geo-locked or something, which is weird.
Like,
I have
location?
I don't know. I'm just Wi-Fi here in my house. I basically have to like turn my phone into a hotspot just to use it, which is weird. I don't get it. So I don't know if it may have something to do with my router or something, some VPN or something. I don't know what's going on.
Or a firewall setting, maybe.
Yeah,
I think that's it. It could be my firewall. Good idea. I'll have to check that out.
All I do is watch it on my Wi-Fi, pretty much.
Yeah, it probably is my stinking firewall.
Yeah,
all right.
Never heard that.
You know, the thing is, like with all these streaming platforms, you find the one that you like the most. But in actuality, I think the way that the streaming has evolved, regardless of pricing, it's not really about pricing. Like, actually, the cheapest way has actually become to go with a more of a cable entry level plan. But it's really tailoring to get what you want. And the providers of the streaming content are good with that. They will provide, you know, like they're going to give you exclusive content. Like Disney basically told every company, every internet service provider, whatever, they're like, we're pulling all their stuff and we're going exclusive. So, you know, whatever, we're going to be selling our app, you know, or it's going to be a library. The only thing they couldn't do, I think, was Avengers Endgame, or it was Infinity War or something, where they were allowed to show it on Netflix for a certain amount of time, and then they went exclusive on their app.
Yeah, I know it's both on Disney Plus right now, though.
Yeah, now they're there, but for a while I was like, why is this not on Disney Plus? Because you know, when you watch Avengers, you want to go in like sequence. You know, I'm not like watching it with Yasmin. I'm like, yeah, let's watch Infinity War and then Endgame, and I'm like, wait a minute, why can't I watch Infinity War? The heck? You know, and it was because they had that deal with Netflix that they would air it for like a year or 2 years or whatever.
I didn't even know Netflix had it in the first place.
It had it back in the day, bro. I think in 2020. I don't know what month it was, but like maybe midway through the year.
Yeah, I would never expect Netflix to have that.
They had it, and like they had the rights to show it, you know, under their deal. Yeah. And I guess Disney couldn't put it on Disney Plus or something. It was something crazy.
Yeah, I know what a lot of people though, you know, Eventually, you want to find your favorite streaming platform, but I know a lot of people where they'll cut the cable and stream and like go to streaming services, but then they end up paying for all the streaming services, and they end up being pretty much the same price as their cable.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say,
So-
and that's kind of where I'm going with this is you almost can't look at streaming services anymore to save money. You look at the streaming services to get the content you want that, like you might save money in the outrun. Like, here's what I mean. If you, okay, so Cox is the internet provider here. If I get TV with them, it's $85 for their entry level, okay?
Mhm.
Even if I bundle with the home internet, my bill's still going to be $140, $150, okay? So if I'm paying $60 for home internet, and if $150 is my typical bill on Cox, so basically I'm looking at it like, okay, I got like $80 to play with before I'm starting to spend more than I would with Cox. Okay, so what can I get with $80? I can get the Disney bundle for $13. I can throw in Netflix for $18. So I'm at $30. All right,
Already,
I can. So
Keeping
I'm
up
at
with-
30, and that's going to give me a lot of content. You get what I'm saying?
yeah.
Now, if I go live TV, it's a different ball game, because once you throw in live TV like Hulu Live or YouTube Live, that changes everything because those are typically $70.
Yeah, and that's gonna be more than what you.
You get what I'm saying? So if you're not into live TV, then it's a game changer to go with streaming services because you can get 5 or 6 different bundles of services to add up to that $80.
Mhm.
You're like, oh, I don't need live sports, or I don't need this and that and the third. Or if you're a savvy person who's like, what I do want to watch, I'll find online.
Yeah.
NFL.com will air their NFL games in your area, and NBA.com will air their games in your area. The other things that I've noticed as well is like, with your providers, wireless providers, now they're just throwing stuff in there. So if I have a line on an account with Verizon, I might get that Disney bundle access. And then if I have a line on an account that has the HBO Max, I get that access. I mean, there are people with the correct configurations, like let's say like I'm on Carlos's account and I'm on Zero Cool's account and I'm on Latrell's account, and they're all on a different provider. I might have Hulu because Latrell got Sprint. I might have, the Netflix because Zero Cool's got T-Mobile. Like, all that's possible. I might have all of that just by being on each one of those accounts.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, am I saying name right so fast, son? Yeah, YouTube is free, but I gotta tell you, I got YouTube Premium, the family plan, like I mentioned earlier.
None better,
And
bro.
you can't go back to free YouTube with those advertisements once you try it.
No, man. See, Los got us on
Yeah,
that
no.
too, bro, and it's been a game changer, right, Los? That premium, bro.
Yeah.
And I ain't
Yeah.
talking about
Yeah.
no YouTube Advanced because you don't support your creators that way with YouTube using YouTube Advanced and ad blockers and things like that. Well, I mean, obviously you could do that, but it's kind of frowned upon. But I know, like my family, I put them on to this Cyberflix TV app where you get free movies and TV shows. So honestly, they still use streaming services, but a lot of things that be on TV and all that stuff, they just go to Cyberflix. It's obviously not. Well, it's legal, I guess, because they're not distributing the content. But you know what I mean.
Yeah, Pete. I had a hard time. Pete was trying to get me on his premium, and we were having a problem with the geo-locking or whatever. Yeah, bro. And it was just a pain, bro. We gave up.
Is he
And
not
then-
in the US?
No, it was US, but we have different addresses, right? So like, take for example, like Pete's over in Colorado, bro. I'm in Ohio. They're making a big stink about it, like about the location. I'm like,
What?
why do we have to be in the same place on the same family account?
Bro, I put my boy, his name B-Tech Reviews. Yeah, you know him.
I know, Mike. That's the homie, bro.
Yeah, he he lives in South Texas and I live in Wisconsin. I put him on my family plan with no issue. And my brother's in Vegas. He's on the family plan. I don't know. That's weird.
I mean, we finally got it fixed, right, Los? Like they finally let it go.
No.
But it was a pain, bro. Like we had to email, and I was on the horn with them, bro. It was just stupid.
And Spotify, I guess it's easy enough to hack because, I mean, when you join somebody's family plan, they just ask for the street address, and then that's pretty much it. Just put in the right street address, and you're good.
Bro, I'm not even joking. If they make it, like, I'm pretty patient, and I'm also understanding, and I'm not irrational in that sense. But if they make it any harder for people to get what they want to enjoy the content they want to watch, I'm going to seriously just start like stealing everything. Like I'm literally not going to pay for anything if they continue to make this so painful. Like the geo-locking, the location services. If they keep making this unfriendly for consumers, I'm just going to seriously do Kodi and Roku's and all. I'm going to just start doing all that stuff because I believe in capitalism. If people want to make money and people are willing to pay the money for the services, I support that. That's good business, right? If I have something to sell and it's good and people are willing to pay for it, I should be able to make that money. And the same thing goes for Latrell and Carlos and Zero Cool. If you have a business idea, you produce a service or a product that's good and people will pay top dollar for it, so be it. You have my blessing. But these companies, I'm telling you, dog, if they continue to make it a pain to just use their products and services, I will resort to not giving a damn and doing whatever I want to watch and see whatever I want, because I'm trying to do it the right way, but they're making it painful. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's one thing I don't like about cable. You know, that I'm restricted to pretty much the Milwaukee channels.
Yeah, you know what's really bad is if you work for a provider like Verizon or AT&T or T-Mobile or Sprint or whatever, if you come up with an idea to improve the service or company or whatever, it's not yours, it's the company's. It's just so bad.
Oh, so you're saying like the intellectual values that you bring to the company are not your own.
Correct. Yeah. If you invent something, like there's one guy that invented the terminal block in the NIDs for at AT&T, and he
Yeah, that is
AT&T, and now it's AT&T's. Yeah, so just
you know what made me mad? Zero Cool. One time a guy sent me it was just a message on one of my videos. It was a live stream. It was a podcast, you know, like this, right? Mm-hmm. And I was doing some commentary on Dish and the merger. This was a couple summers ago, I think. And it was like a 1 hour video. The way I usually do my podcasts, how I monetize them, obviously I set them to be monetized, but after the fact, I'll go back in and put a couple of ads in there, right? And usually what I do is I put a couple of ads on the front end. I put them in early, so there's not much or any later in the live stream, right? And he said, after your second ad, I'm leaving. And I thought to myself, this dude clearly is, so he's willing to watch ads for the Kardashian show, which offers absolutely nothing to nobody. What do the Kardashians offer to society? Nothing.
Bro, nothing. they be having more ads than show on TV.
See? And then he wants to say you got too many ads, and it was like 2 ads in the first hour or something. And I just thought to myself, I'm actually, you know, like there's research that goes into my channel. You know, there's different types of updates, and then there's testing. You know, I'm buying cell phones and I have plans. Bro, do you think if I didn't have my YouTube channel, I would have 5 SIM cards? Do you really think I want 5 lines of service, bro? Do you guys really think I want $200 in cell phone bills every month?
Yeah, right.
No.
You know, or do you think I want to pay $1,000 a flagship so I can test this year's modems and have 5 different phones?
Yeah, this the money don't just fly off of trees. I mean, you gotta do something about it.
Now, here's the thing. I could completely monetize everything on my own, but I would have to do it through Patreon, right?
Yeah.
Or I would have to do it secondarily through some other way. You know what I mean? And there's just not enough. There's not enough traction on those platforms for me to do that standalone. You know,
I'm surprised. Where's your TikTok channel at, man?
Oh, bro, come on, man.
Hey, I wanna
dog.
address Ryan's comment real quick. He said most cable boxes are a joke. Oh yeah, we know that. With my DirecTV box, pretty much for the apps anyways. There's really pretty much only just Pandora and Music Choice. But at least with AT&T cable boxes and Xfinity, is that Xfinity with the hopper? With the hopper?
No, that was
Dish.
DirecTV. Dish.
Oh, that is Dish with the hopper. Yeah, they got a lot of apps, especially AT&T TV. Like they got YouTube, Spotify. It's an Android box basically. I don't know about Dish, but again, they got a lot of apps like YouTube and even Netflix and all that stuff. Even though it's a cable box.
I like the Hopper, dude. It's a really good experience because that's what I have Dish Network. It's a real good box, good interface.
I need to get Dish. You know, we was really hesitant with getting DirecTV in the first place because of a Dish. And you know, if the weather gets bad, like the thunderstorm or whatever, then the cable starts to cut out. That's why we were so hesitant for so long.
It doesn't do that with Dish.
That's
DirecTV
correct.
always look
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, the difference between DirecTV and Dish is that DirecTV uses the KA bands, right? And Dish uses the KU bands. KU meaning under the K band, and KA band meaning above the K band, right? So with the KA band, that's DirecTV. You're looking at signals of 24 to 48 gigahertz, right? And then the KU band is 12 to 18 gigahertz. So that's what Dish is, right? So when you get snowstorms and rain, tropospheric ducting, rain fade, stuff like that, right? It's not going to interfere with the lower KU band signals than what it would with a KA band signal on the higher frequencies, because with the higher frequencies, you have more interference with the weather.
Yeah, I gotta give it to DirecTV though. Like pretty much thunderstorms is the only time where I have issues.
Exactly.
Like we just went through this snowstorm here. There's no issues. A cloudy day, like Erica's pointing out, we didn't have any issues or anything like that. Like it holds up pretty well. It's just pretty much when there's a severe thunderstorm or whatever, and the thunder is bad and lightning and all that, where it starts buffering.
Little trick. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much the difference between DirecTV and Dish. But now, if a little trick here for you, if you put Pam on your sat dish, during the winter, your ice will melt off. Just put some Pam on there, bro. You're good to go.
I ain't think about that. I got Pam just sitting in the
because it melts off the snow and ice. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that, bro.
You're welcome, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people over here got DirecTV though in this neighborhood. If it's not that, it's AT&T Uverse like we used to have. But I like the AT&T Uverse. Like they were doing a great job in terms of like, I guess not really the features of the cable box, but did you know about AT&T Uverse's wireless cable boxes, right?
What do you mean? Oh, the ones with no cables?
Yeah, you don't have to. All you have to do is just plug in power, and then you're good. You can put it anywhere you want in your room.
Yeah, Dish has that the wireless stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, DirecTV don't got that, which is annoying. But yeah, that's what I liked about Uverse, especially. And the apps are good. The remote app is good. They have an app for the Galaxy Watch. Well, DirecTV does too, but Uverse is better. And I think they have more channels because when you use the app for DirecTV, AT&T Uverse, or whatever, when you're not home, you're limited on your channels. But when you're home, you have all the channels.
Man, I remember when I had that Cox Contour. Man, first of all, you couldn't even use the Contour app off of your Wi-Fi. Like if you were on cellular, it wouldn't even load. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You guys want to give me the mobile app to watch TV when I'm home on my phone? How does that even make any sense? You guys are ridiculous. And then when they finally updated it to give you the opportunity to use cellular, it was like half the shows. It was half of the programs. It would have half of the channels.
Yeah.
Not even. It was like 40% of them. So I'm not giving you guys any more money. I don't need to pay for anything. Just disconnect my service. This is terrible. And that's when I went to streaming services, because the way I looked at it is, you're going to make me pay to have features that should come with the service. You know, like I'm already paying a premium for these things. Why are there additional fees?
Yeah. I mean, that with AT&T Uverse, the actual user interface and things like that were better, except for the tablet version. DirecTV has a way better tablet app. But with AT&T Uverse, I was like, man, it seemed like every other channel I wanted to watch wasn't on the app. It was like you said, like 40 or 50% of the channels or whatever. But DirecTV is way better at that. But
The Dish app, you've got to use it. How do you like it?
me?
No, Sneed.
Oh,
I like it. I like the Dish content, the package, the pricing, and the app. It's all good. It's all good. I mean, Carlos's setup is solid. You know, his plan that he has and the value that it's got with it is second to none. You know, I mean, if I would have already signed up for Dish if I was getting that same plan, but like what he's paying for it and what I would be paying for it, difference of like $30. I would be paying 94 plus taxes. Los is getting it for like $50 or some shit. I don't even know.
Kind of going off of Ryan's comment.
60.
Have y'all tried Spectrum cable or anything?
No, I mean, they're available in this area, not my particular area, but I mean, they've got stores and they serve certain cities around here, certain suburbs, but I haven't used them. I mean, I remember they used to serve like my parents' house.
Yeah, I know my friend, he has a Spectrum cable, and I know a Spectrum, it sucks because they have unfortunately a decent amount of outages here, and every time there's a Spectrum outage, usually it's all the services, cable, internet, landline, and all that. That never, you don't have that issue with DirecTV. But I heard that Spectrum just ain't on the same level as DirecTV.
Spectrum?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, Spectrum cable.
Like in terms of the TV options?
Yeah.
I don't know. I couldn't comment because I never had it.
According to my brother who lives in Vegas. But yeah, I wouldn't know either. But yeah, we pretty much have the options of Spectrum, DirecTV, pretty much just the regular cable providers you would think of. But yeah, man, I don't know about AT&T TV. That's like I said, until we get fiber at this address, I definitely can't consider that. Or unless Spectrum does a whole 360 and all of a sudden it's magical and sunshine and flowers.
Huh. Yeah.
which that's like asking for Cox to be good, but
not happening, Chief. Not happening. Cox will never be good at anything. Straight trash, bro. Garbage can residue, trash can slime, dog.
They're the worst.
Yeah.
All right, y'all, let's go ahead and wrap it up, man. I'm done for the night. I'm going to shut down the stream. I want to thank everybody for coming through. We had Latrell Jennings. We had Zero Cool RF and Carlos Aztec. I appreciate you guys coming through and, getting involved in the commentary, offering your input and experiences. So thank you all for coming by. Big shout out to all my mods, #mod squad. Big shout out to the Ravioli gang eating dinner here late night, listening to the SMT podcast.
Yeah.
All right. Also, for the donators, all that offered donations, we appreciate it greatly. Thank you so much for that. It's not letting me scroll back all the way to see them. I can't even see any of them. But thank you guys for those donations. Appreciate you very much. And for everybody that gave this video a like, thank you as well. Go ahead and rate this video. Share it to your socials. You got Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You could share it to Reddit too, just not the T-Mobile Reddit. Leave that alone. That place is toxic. Leave it alone. And then that's about it. We'll just leave it at that. Again, thank you for watching. More content up and coming from the FirstNet coverage. More lines of service I'll be testing. Hopefully getting to S21 soon. I'll be testing that, the modem specifically and whatnot. And I'll be wrapping up my 1 month review of the T-Mobile home internet. So if you're a Patreon supporter, and if you want to become one, there's a link in the description box. But if you are a Patreon supporter, you'll be getting early access to that stuff, as well as some unique coverage there. So thanks again for everything. Thank you to all being here, and hope to see you soon on the next show. We out this piece. Peace.
Thanks for having me on, bro.
Yep, pleasure.
Peace.
We out.